Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is yours truly, the one and only, the brightest, the greatest. Now I'm just playing with you guys. How you guys doing so far? It is a lovely morning today. It is a lovely Friday morning. And I am here with you on Pstars Radio. The time is now 10:16 a.m. And I am glad to be here with you all this morning once again. Time seems to be changed for the most part, right? Just in case a lot of you are not aware, the time has changed. So, just be mindful. Be mindful of that. But even though times have changed, we're still here. We're still going hard. We're still going strong. We're still pushing as per usual. Now, I would like to start off with this for you. I hope a lot of you are, not going too crazy, as regards to what's going on with elections and stuff like that, the presidential election, happening, or that just took place on Tuesday, right? With the results that came out, so on and so forth. It is what it is. Things happen, but some people may not be happy with the results of the election. Others may be happy with the results of the election. But regardless of the fact, it is what it is. This is the reality of the situation, and we got to try and roll with the punches as much as possible. Okay, so we roll with the punches. We take life one step at a time, and what's most important for all of us to understand is that God is the president. He's my president. No matter who might choose, for Trump or Harris as president, God is my president, and I hope he's yours as well. Okay, so all right, with that aside, I'll start off with this. Bronny James Jr. has officially been assigned to play in the G League starting tomorrow. He has been assigned to play in the G League, so he's going to be stepping off from the NBA team with the Lakers, and he'll be playing with the South Bay Lakers in the G League this coming Saturday. So, is this a good call? Is this not a good call? Honestly, I think this might be a good call for Bronny. Granted, he's not stepping out of the team indefinitely, because I think they're going to start giving him some respective plays, or respective, spot in the roster for the NBA team. But for the most part, he will be playing for the G League's South Bay Lakers for now, as it seems. And now, again, I do think this is a pretty good decision that was made, right? Again, I still think Bronny has what it takes to play in the big leagues. I think he has what it takes to showcase his potential, his abilities, right? But for now, I can feel a little bit confident that you can, let him play alongside the G Leaguers for the time being, right? Let him develop a little bit more of his skills. Because I do think, for one, while he played in college, it might have been a little bit of a rushed process, right? From playing one season, in college, and then automatically going to the NBA. Granted, I understand what the critics are talking about, things being rushed, him not being ready, rah, yada, 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 this, that, and the third. I get it. It is what it is. But Again, let him develop his team. Let him develop his play style a little bit. Let him get a little bit more comfortable, right? Let him get more settled in with the G League to the point where he's more developed to come back to playing fully in the NBA with the Lakers. Excuse me. I think that's a pretty solid decision that was made, so I'm not mad at it. His stats so far for the regular season, granted the regular season did just start, so these are just stats for now that he's accumulated during the start of the preseason and the regular season. His stats so far were 1 point per game, 0.3 rebounds per game, 0.5 assists per game, and 16.7% from field goal. So, granted, honestly, I didn't expect higher numbers than these. Maybe a little bit high, but not too high. Not too high, because again, he is a rookie, right? Drafted in the second round pick of this year's NBA draft, right? Again, I don't expect crazy numbers coming from Bronny. I don't, right? But these are the stats that he has so far. And again, with the decision that was made for him to be transferred to the G League, South Bay Lakers, it might have been a smart one, again, to just let him develop a little bit of his skills, let him get more, settled, more comfortable, because playing in that big, when you got all eyes on you in the NBA, you're playing on the big stage now. I could only imagine what that nerve feels like. You get that nerve-wracking feeling, that nervousness, because you got all eyes on you. You're playing on the big stage. You're playing in the big leagues, right? Alongside all other very talented players. It's gotta give you some butterflies, right? It's gotta give you a little bit of those butterflies in your stomach. So I completely get it. I understand. It might have been the case for Bronny. It might not have been. I don't know. But let him start off a little bit with the South Bay Lakers, and then work his way back up again into the Lakers roster. So good decision on the Lakers end. Yeah, I'm not mad at it. Moving on to the NBA trade deadline, we have the trade deadline that's going to be taking place, I believe, in February 6th, 2025. And I hear some big talks or some big discussions as to what's going to be predicted in these in this NBA trade deadlines, right? So first off, there are some talks of Golden State Warriors making big plans, so making very big trades in their team. Now, this kind of worries me a little bit because so far the Warriors aren't sitting at a very bad place right now. We're starting off on a decent footing, right? Considering, Klay Thompson is not a part of the team anymore. We are starting off on a very decent footing so far, so I don't see who they could possibly trade. I don't see the reason why they would want to trade, if I'm being honest with you. Because again, I haven't seen anything so far where it's to the point that we have to make any serious trades for the team. But this is what's happening right now. Golden State Warriors are making plans to make some big trades. And honestly, I'm kind of worried because I keep hearing references. I don't know about you guys, right? But I keep hearing references of plans of having Jonathan Kuminga, being traded. And honestly, I don't think I like the sound of that. I really don't, because Jonathan Kuminga he's doing very well. At least in my opinion, he's doing very well playing alongside the Golden State Warriors. Like, he can serve as a power forward, the power forward, yeah. He could also serve as their center, right? He's very athletic, very nice athleticism for his size as well. He has a nice touch when he comes to attack the rim. I don't think they should trade Jonathan Kuminga at all, but I keep hearing and seeing references of plans being made or plans being put into place where Jonathan Kuminga could be in a trade package to go play for another team. And I don't really like the sound of that, to be honest with you. But hey, that's what's going on so far. Those kind of seem like the plans that Golden State Warriors could be making. Again, this is all, possibilities. These are not actually guaranteed. So I'm not going to, drive myself crazy over it, but these are all possibilities. But I don't really like these possibilities. That's all I'm saying. But you also have teams also gunning for Giannis. We also hear Giannis is also being put into talks of being included in these trade deadlines, right? Heats are having an interest in Giannis. We have the Brooklyn Nets that also have an interest in Giannis. And then we have the New York Knicks that also has expressed interest in Giannis as well. The Knicks are also looking for sharpshooters for this trade deadline. Who do they have on their team as like sharpshooters? I'm thinking of maybe Josh Hart? No. Who knows? Maybe they do actually need a sharpshooter in their roster, because as of now they only have Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby. Yeah, I don't think they have anybody. Yeah, this might be something worth looking into for the New York Knicks for sure, because it looks like for the most part they probably have a lot of bigs because they got Karl Anthony Towns from a recent trade, right? They got OG Anunoby. They got Mikal Bridges, who can also play as a big, right, for his height. But yeah, I think this is definitely worth looking into for the New York Knicks. So I'm not too much confused about that. The Bulls are also looking into a trade as well. So there could be somebody that they're probably thinking about trading. I've heard that they were talking about trading Zach LaVine for so long now. But granted, I don't think that's necessary in my opinion. I don't think it's really necessary for them to trade Zach LaVine. Granted, if he wants to be traded, then it is what it is. But if not, I don't think that Zach LaVine should be included in the trade deadline, to be traded to another team. Because now that we just received Lonzo Ball, I'm saying we like that's my team. Now that they just received Lonzo Ball back into the team from his long injury, I think they could, bring that momentum back up again. Ever since Lonzo Ball has made his exit because of the injury, I think they could come back with that same momentum. Granted, they did lose Alex Caruso because Alex Caruso got traded to the Thunders for Josh Giddey. And Josh Giddey seems to be playing okay, in my opinion, so far with the Chicago Bulls. So I think they could work with this team, considering Lonzo Ball being back. I think they could work this momentum, get this momentum coming up for the team with Josh Giddey, Kobe White, Lonzo Ball, Zach LaVine, Patrick Williams. They could work this momentum up with this. They could do something with this team. I personally think so. So, yeah, but that's what the Bulls are looking into for now. They're looking into a trade. So, curious to see what that's going to look like. Clippers might also have interest in Kuminga. I forgot to mention that. One of the teams that are looking to receive Kuminga from the Warriors is the Clippers. Again, I don't think I want this trade to happen with Kuminga because again, I think he's perfect for the Warriors. I think the roster that they have set up or the roster that they have put in place for Kuminga is perfectly fine. I don't think they need to do anything about it. But hey, that's out of my control. That's out of my hands. I'm not a part of the managing staff that's sitting in the Golden State Warriors office, so it is what it is. I just hope it doesn't happen. But that's what it's looking like so far. So Golden State Warriors, if you're watching this, please don't trade Jonathan Kuminga. Please don't do it. Also, we have Joel Embiid, who has recently been suspended for 3 games for shoving a reporter. I want to know what that's about. Because for the start of the season, he has been... It's been very weird with Joel Embiid for some reason. From the start of the season, Joel Embiid has been, I think, absent from the first few games of the Philadelphia 76ers. And it sparked something very... It sparked something very suspicious with the league, which has prompted them to investigate the situation as to what's going on with Joel Embiid. And upon their investigation as to figuring out why Joel Embiid has been absent for these past few games, the NBA has decided to fine the Philadelphia 76ers, I believe, $100,000 because of what they found in their investigation. And I'm not sure what that might be, but I did learn last season that the NBA has made certain changes to their rules in regards to making sure that each and every single player, even if they're not playing in the game, they must be present during that game unless for a serious reason as to why they are absent from said game. So, like I said before, Joel Embiid has been out for the first few couple of games for the 76ers, which made the league suspicious of that. So they investigated. They found out that they've broken rules or, broken policies for the league, which has prompted them to fine the 76ers organization for a fine of, I believe, $100,000. So that was weird. I don't know why. I don't know what's going on with Joel Embiid there. But then after that, you have him starting physical confrontations with reporters, which has now prompted the league to suspend Joel Embiid for 3 games. So it all seems a bit weird so far. I don't know what's going on with Joel Embiid. Hopefully he can get his head back in the game. Hopefully he can get his head on straight. Whatever situations or issues that he may be going on in his personal life. Hopefully he gets that all situated and make his debut and his return back into the 76ers organization and start playing out there for the fans. All right, so there's that. That was pretty weird, but it is what it is. We have Devin Vassell of the San Antonio Spurs, who will also be making his debut return back to the Spurs from an injury on his foot. Like Joel Embiid, he's been out for a couple of the first few games of the season for the Spurs. But this was for a reason, though, right? This is for an injury, and that was an injury to the foot. And this can probably help the team, so far, help, provide some support to Wembanyama and Chris Paul and the rest of the players, right? Devin Vassell, ever since his exit because of his injury, he was the second leading scorer for the team. Now, granted, this guy is definitely a baller. He is a hooper, and he was a very formidable asset to the team. Ever since his absence for his injury, he has been leading with 19.5 points per game since last season after being out for his injury. 19.5 points per game. So this man has been dropping dimes and dropping points for this team. So, it's going to be very interesting to see him come back, making his debut to play. I think he already did make his debut, if I'm not mistaken. He did recently make his debut coming back to the league from his injury. So I'm excited to see more from this individual player, Devin Vassell. And then we also have Shaedon Sharpe. Shaedon Sharpe of the Portland Trailblazers, who's also been out for an injury as well, and I believe it was in the left shoulder. He had a left shoulder injury. And he, too, is also making his return back to the Trailblazers and I believe he also made his debut as well recently. But he is also a formidable asset to the team, right? Because the Trailblazers right now, so far, they look like they need a lot of help. They definitely look like they need a lot of help. They're not very much so starting off on a decent footing so far. So with Shaedon Sharpe being back on the roster, back on the team since his injury, I believe this can be a very big edge, a very big jumpstart for the team to come back with some momentum, come back with some, how can I say this? Come back with some athleticism, competitiveness, because that's definitely what they need. Even if they lose a lot of their games, we need a lot of that competitiveness that they have because they have a lot of young players. The Trailblazers have a lot of young players on that team. Ever since Damian Lillard and C.J. McCollum left that group, they have tried to rebuild the team. After that, with Scoot Henderson, Shaedon Sharpe, Anthony Simons, right? They try to build this young core group, and that's what they need to do to continue to be, how can I say, relevant in the team, because they are relevant in some cases, but you want to make sure you bring this competitiveness back in the team, and so I think Shaedon Sharpe can help do that with his return. So with that being said, I also believe, Tyrese Maxey. Tyrese Maxey, almost forgot to bring this up as well. Tyrese Maxey of the Philadelphia 76ers is also facing an injury as well, which has prompted him to be out for a certain period of time, just so he can get checked out, make sure everything is okay. But the injury that he has suffered is from his hamstring. And, an injury in the hamstring is crazy work. Those injuries, I know, are not, they don't feel good. They definitely do not feel good. But that just seems to be the case so far for Tyrese Maxey, suffering a hamstring injury. And hopefully he can recover from that, or he can recover from that and make a speedy recovery so that he can make a return back to the team to play alongside Joel Embiid and the rest of the group. And then we also have Greg Popovich, the head coach of the Spurs, who will also be out, in some sayings, indefinitely due to health injuries. Now, with Greg Popovich, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I think that it's almost time for him to retire. I don't know if I'm crazy for, I don't know. I just think it might be time for him to retire for now, right? But he is facing health issues at the moment, which is prompting him to not being on the sidelines coaching the team, right? And I forgot who it was that's going to be taking his place for the time being as an interim head coach in substitution for Greg Popovich. But as of now, he is being held out of the team because of the health issues that he is facing at the moment. And I also wish Greg Popovich a speedy recovery. I hope he gets well. I hope he gets better. And I also hope he considers retiring as well. But so far, I hope he's doing good so far. And that's that. Now, Russell Westbrook. It's as I predicted before. This man is doing exactly what I thought he would do. He's hooping. He's balling. He's going crazy. And I think I like this for him. I said I think. I definitely like this for him, right? Him playing alongside the Denver Nuggets, playing alongside Jamal Murray, playing alongside Nikola Jokic, MPJ, Eric Gordon. He is definitely doing his thing out there, right? Recent game playing alongside or playing against. His recent game playing against the OKC Thunders. He had dropped in He's dropped in 29 points, 6 rebounds, and 6 assists, in helping the team deliver the Thunders their first loss of the season. Because recently the Thunders were sitting first in the Western Conference, and now Russell Westbrook with the Denver Nuggets have given them an upset loss during that game. Again, Russ dropped 29 points, 6 rebounds, and 6 assists. And then Nikola Jokic doing what I'm not very much surprised about, dropping in another triple-double. Because, again, I told you this. Keep expecting this from Nikola Jokic, because that feels like something that just comes very much so easily, very easily to Nikola Jokic. He's just dropping triple-doubles like it's nothing. But during that game, he dropped 23 points, and this is Nikola Jokic. Nikola Jokic dropped 23 points, 20 rebounds, and 16 assists. Again, he dropped 23 points, 20 rebounds, and 16 assists. So, with Nikola Jokic and Russell Westbrook doing their thing out there, again, expect more of this. Definitely expect more of these individuals balling out like beasts, going crazy, and doing their thing, right? But as I said before, the Thunders have been sitting at were sitting in the first spot in the Western Conference, but now they've dropped down to the second in the West with 7 wins and 1 loss. And they're sitting right behind the Phoenix Suns, who also have a win-loss record of 7 wins and 1 loss. Now, Thunder, I'm not surprised with this. I'm not surprised where they're sitting at right now, because this is also a young core group as well. And last season, they were also going very, very, very crazy. Like, their record was sitting at I can't even remember, but the win ratio was very much so overwhelming over the loss ratio. So they were doing very, very, very well last season. I'm talking about the OKC Thunders. They were doing very well, and I'm not surprised if they're going to do very well this season as well. Excuse me, because last season, they've unfortunately lost to the Dallas Mavericks during the playoff series to advance to the finals, right? Because the Dallas Mavericks are just, too overwhelming for them. But who knows? They could make a very different comeback this season. They could make it to the They could definitely make it to the playoff series this season. And then who knows? Maybe they could eventually make it to the finals. That all depends on them and what their plans are for this season, and how they're going to take this season seriously, and how they're going to, utilize who they have on their roster to actually make that happen. So, keep an eye out for that. Keep a lookout for that. And, that's what it's looking like so far. So for the games that we have scheduled for the NBA tonight goes as follows. The Indiana Pacers will be going up against the Charlotte Hornets. The Atlanta Hawks will be going up against the Detroit Pistons. The New Orleans Pelicans will be going up against the Orlando Magic. The Brooklyn Nets up against the Boston Celtics. Golden State Warriors will be going up against the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Milwaukee Bucks will be going up against the New York Knicks. Phoenix Suns will be taking on the Dallas Mavericks. Houston Rockets will be going up against the OKC Thunder. The Washington Wizards will be going up against the Memphis Grizzlies. The Portland Trailblazers will be going up against the Minnesota Timberwolves. The Miami Heat will be going up against the Denver Nuggets. Philadelphia 76ers will be going up against the Lakers, the Los Angeles Lakers. And then finally, the Los Angeles Clippers will be going up against the Sacramento Kings. These are the games that they have scheduled for tonight. And as usual, I will be leaving you off with a Bible verse, which will be coming from 2 Thessalonians chapter 3, verses 16. Again, the Bible verse will be coming from 2 Thessalonians chapter 3, verses 1 through 16. And it reads, "Now may the Lord of peace himself give you peace at all times and in every way. The Lord be with all of you." Again, allow me to read that for you one more time. And it reads, "Now may the Lord of peace himself give you peace at all times and in every way. The Lord be with all of you." Again, there are people out here that are probably making their minds go crazy because of the past election, right? People are going crazy over the results. People are going crazy over the economy, crazy over their daily lives, their daily activities, so on and so forth. But God is the only source of peace that we have, right? And so when you find yourself going through a chaotic day, you're going through a crazy day, right? Come to God in prayer. Seek God. Seek his peace. Seek all that you look for, and he will bring that to you. He will offer that to you. What does it say in the Bible? Knock, and the door will be open to you. Seek, and you will find, right? Seek, and you will find. Knock, and the door will be opened up to you. Ask, and you shall receive. In the name of the Lord, in the name of Jesus. So always remember to come to him, go to him, search for him in prayer, search for that peace, search for that calmness, search for the stillness, right? In the chaos that you may be going through throughout the day. Don't let the craziness of the world overtake you. Don't let the stress, the anxiety, all that the world is throwing at you, do not let that overcome you. Do not let it overtake you. Again, seek God, seek Jesus, seek his peace, and he will bring these things to you. He'll offer these things to you, and he will grant these things to you. Okay, so I love you all. I will see you all here again on Friday or on the same time as usual. And yeah, have a